90% of these realtors have no business listing these multifamily properties. They're costing their sellers tens of thousands of dollars. I'm going to show you exactly how they should have listed these properties. What's up, fruitful investors? Today's video is a little different. Right now I'm in my office looking at properties for clients, and I've had enough of the bullshit. I'm gonna show you inside. I'm gonna bring you my computer and show you behind the scenes on my system and show you exactly why multifamily buildings, multifamily properties are not selling. There's no reason why these buildings should be sitting on the market for 50, 100, 120 days when there's a ton of qualified, sophisticated multifamily buyers out there. The problem is the realtors who are listing these properties have zero idea what the hell they're doing, and they're not attracting the right clients. And all these properties, and there's only about 4 or 5 of them right now on the market in Kitchener Waterloo. There's very few big buildings on the market right now, February 2018, and that's because there's not a lot of multifamily buildings normally to buy. But when you have so few buildings, it should be very competitive for those buyers to buy them, but they're not selling. So I'm gonna show you exactly why. Also, all these realtors I've never even really heard of before. That normally doesn't mean a lot, but the investment world is very small. There are very, very few realtors who truly specialize with investors. Again, not to talk about myself and brag about myself, but I am one of the only realtors in Kitchener Waterloo that I know of who 100% specializes with investors. 100% of my sales are investment properties. I do not sell regular home buyer properties. I don't know any other realtor in Kitchener Waterloo that does that. And these realtors I've never even heard of before, which means a lot of these sellers are hiring the wrong people. They're leaving money on the table. They're using single family strategies, which is, I can just hire my friend. I know a friend who's a realtor, or my cousin is a realtor. Well, I'm gonna show you exactly why that's a big mistake. Let's go in and see what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are inside my system. So I am gonna cover up the realtor's name. Not that it actually matters. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, because you can just check out this property on online anyway, find out who's listing it. But I wanna be nice and cover up the realtor's names. So here we are. A 12-unit building in Kitchener that's been on the market for 126 days. Absolutely insane. Now, why is that? What's the biggest mistake that every single one of these realtors I'm going to show you is making? And like I said, there's only 4 multifamily buildings currently on the market right now. Number 1, in here, there should be a spot to put the financials, to add files. Us realtors can add files for the other realtors to grab for their clients. I'm not seeing any of those right here. So there's no financials. Number 1, how can a real estate investor buy a property or even come to see the property without numbers? As multifamily investors, what's the number 1 thing we care about most? The financials. That can tell us the cap rates, how much money we're gonna make, etc. Then we can go and check out this property, okay? So we can see it's kind of a crappy property. It doesn't really matter. These are awesome, awesome buildings, and there's no reason why this should have sold or not sold for 126 days so far. Now, I actually did reach out to the realtor, which is what a lot of these realtors want you to do. They want you to reach out to them, and then they'll send you the financials. An absolutely bullshit strategy. So I actually did get these numbers, and the cap rate is about 3.3, 3.5%. I can't remember the exact, but it was a horrendous cap rate. These cap rates in this area in Kitchener for a building of this quality should be around 5%. 4.9, 5% cap rate. Now, if that were the case, this building would be listed probably somewhere around 1.3, 1.5. That's what this building should actually sell for. So mistake number 1, realtor way overpriced the property because they're probably using single family strategies, which is paint color, condition, laminate floors. That bullshit doesn't matter in multifamily as much. It does a little bit, but not really. Number 1, numbers and the area's cap rate dictates price. Number 2, where are the numbers? Where can my clients or people on the public get the numbers? Let's go down here. This is where, again, realtors would list the numbers. Look at all this, empty. Where are the numbers? Moving on. Property number 2, $6.7 million townhouse complex. Wow, like what a fantastic property. I would dream of this property. These are my dream properties. This should sell very quickly. It's only been on the market for 7 days, but this realtor's made the mistakes again. Now I do see files. See the files attached? Okay, let's see what we got here. Nothing. No financials. A $6.7 million property. No financials. How do I tell if it's even going to make me money or not? Let's go down to the details. Oh look, 0 numbers. This property is going to probably sit for a long time. Property number 3, another sweet building. Look at this building. These are buildings people are dying to get. It's a good quality building. 1.7 million. We're not talking about chump change. Where's the files? Right here on the left side. No numbers. Let's go down. Oh, well, look at this again. No numbers. How am I supposed to tell if this property is going to be good or not? The thing you want to do when you sell a property is give your realtor all of the numbers, all the financials, so they can make a nice professional package to send out to people. I'm going to show you how and why we do that in a little bit. The last property, number 4, the only 4 properties on the market right now, multifamily. Okay, $1 million property. This is a commercial / residential split, downtown Galt, Cambridge, a killer area. One of the best areas right now to buy a multifamily property, especially commercial and residential. Why? The LRT and the GO station on Ainsley Street. This is so close to the Cambridge future light rapid transit system. This should have sold, man, like 30, 60 days. 111 days on the market. What do we got here on the left side? No files. What do we got here on the bottom? No numbers. Absolutely atrocious. And reason why these realtors the sellers, these multifamily who are normally very sophisticated. Multifamily buyers are not newbies. They are very, very sophisticated strategic investors normally. Why are they hiring these realtors who have 0 idea what the hell they're doing when it comes to selling multifamily properties? Now, let's go on the whiteboard and I'm going to show you exactly how you, if you're a multifamily owner and you're thinking about selling your property for top dollar, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Let's go to the whiteboard right now. All right, so now that I've showed you exactly what not to do when listing a multifamily property, let's discuss what a realtor should do for their seller. Number 1, you want to show all of the numbers. As I said tons of times in this video, and most importantly, all of the current numbers, not projected numbers, not what the rents could be, what the rents actually are. So the investor can determine the net operating income and come up with the cap rate that they think is fair to pay, which if they're working with a specialized multifamily realtor who's going to help them buy the property, that realtor is going to tell them what the cap rate for that area is so they can easily come up with a purchase price. Okay, so give all of the numbers and as much as you can. Minimum 12 months of all the income and expenses. If you're selling a building that's 12 units or more, you should really provide your realtor with 24 months, 2 years of all of the income and expenses so the buyer can come up with what a fair price is for them. Now, what I do when I list a property with a client is I get all of the documents as well, which I didn't really put on here, but it's another very important point. So more so than just the numbers, all of the leases, all of the renovations, like the big renovations that have been done, fire inspections if there was any, zoning certificate, everything you can think of. I get all of that up front so that if an offer should come in, I can send all of the information to the buyer immediately. The worst thing is when a buyer puts an offer on the property, it takes the seller a week or more to get their shit together and send over all the leases, documents, and expenses and whatever, all the utilities, all that stuff. Get everything to your realtor on day 1 before they even list the property. So it just makes everything so much more sophisticated. Believe me, a much easier process. Number 2, give lots of pictures. So like 90% of multifamily listings never have pictures other than the front of the building as the only picture to choose from, or maybe the front and then the parking lot. Give some pictures even if they suck. If they suck, that's your problem. You're selling a shitty building. That's your problem as the seller. Your realtor should provide lots of pictures of the inside, the stairwells, the laundry room, everything. Give the picture so you're not wasting time. Again, you want to attract the right buyer. So why piss around and have a bunch of looky-loos come through the property? Give as much detail as possible, much information, so you can attract that one specific buyer. Going back to the show the numbers and the pictures, I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I sell a property. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a package that when I list a property, I pretty much make a whole package of all the pictures, the details, the financials. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so you can see here, I got all the pictures, all the details right on the front with the cap rate visibly right there, all the net operating income. Right here, I got all the rents, so there's no messing around. I got the locations, all that fancy stuff, and the financial breakdown, detail. This is exactly what the buyers want to see. And not to brag, but this property, this specific property that I listed just about a month ago, guess how long it took to sell? 2 days. Now, it doesn't always go that quick, especially on the bigger buildings, but when I gave out all of the information for everybody to see, the buyer reacted very quickly with a very strong offer because he had all of the details he needed. This is how you sell a multifamily property. So you can see that I've showed everything pretty much, like totally transparent. They almost have all the information they're gonna need besides the leases and utilities and all the personal stuff that they'll get once they put an offer on. But they have a very good picture right away before they even make an offer. And that's what you really want your realtor to provide when listing your property. Number 3, the last thing, clean up the common areas. So I'm talking about right when you walk into a building, you might have a lobby if it's a really big building, or the stairwells if it's under 20 units. You might just have stairwells and hallways for your tenants to walk through. This is by far the easiest way to clean up your building and make a good first impression, especially when you're trying to find tenants for higher rents. Now, if you're thinking of selling your multifamily building, remember, this is a business, a totally different business, and the time frames are longer. You should be going to your realtor a year or 2 before you're even thinking about selling your building, so that your specialized realtor can tell you exactly what you got to do to get top dollar. And the number one thing you can do beforehand is clean up all the stairwells and all the common areas. Paint everything, put new floors, put some fake plants in front of the windows, anything, just make it look really nice so that when you get tenants coming through for when people move out, you can easily charge more rent just because of the common areas. Your tenants want to come home to a nice place. They don't want to have to walk through a gungy hallway, 1970s wood doors to get to their, again, shitty apartment that you haven't updated in forever because, hey, let's face it, it's a multifamily building. This isn't single family. So you want to do that years beforehand to get that income up. As I've said in many of my videos, it's all about the income. The more money your building makes, the higher the purchase price you will get. But if you didn't do that, if you didn't make up the common areas a couple years beforehand to get the rents up, but you still have to sell or want to sell right now, do that first. It takes 2 weeks max. Paint the stairwells, put some new floors in, do something, just make it more welcoming so that when your buyer comes in, they feel like this is a really cool and high quality building, okay? So there's a ton more to this. I could speak about hours on this. I'm trying to make a condensed little video. You've seen what not to do. You've seen what a lot of Kitchener Waterloo realtors are doing when selling multifamily properties. Again, it's not that they're bad realtors or that they're dumb. They just don't know what they're doing when it comes to multifamily or investing. This is a completely different business. You cannot go and sell the private home with a white picket fence, the mommy and daddy, and then try and get into this game where it's all about business and cutthroat numbers. It's just, you can't do it. I would not recommend using a typical or big name realtor like that. You want to use a specialized realtor, someone who's obsessed with real estate investing, and preferably, as I've said many times, a realtor who invests themselves with a minimum of 10 properties. That's the video. If you learned anything, please click like. To find out more about my 12 free video series where I teach you how to invest in real estate from A to Z, you can find out more about that by clicking below. And to find out more about my real estate investing apprenticeship program, about how you can partner with me and we can buy sweet multifamily buildings like what I'm talking about, one-on-one coach, you can find out more about that right about here. I will see you in the next videos.